Come on. It's a pathos.
Good one, man. An old school, man.
Look at this place.
Cool, man.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, I know. It looks so much different when you're at home.
Right.
You watch every week?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I'm aware of the phenomenon that is gonzo.
Yeah, wow.
Were you recording?
Did you get that? That was the goal. Did you get that? It's been good seeing you. Thanks for coming in.
Brilliant.
Good luck with the album. Thanks a lot. We need it. That's a wrap. What's going on, Nolly G? Good to see you.
Listen, that you too, man.
Finally on the brown couch.
The last time we seen each other was on a very messy night out in Ibiza.
That's right. We were rolling
In fact,
with our mutual mates.
Serge, remember the picture the three of us done?
Yeah.
Serge got that picture blown up for us, and I've got it in the house. But we all look pretty fucked up,
Tired.
But there's a great right in the corner of the picture. You can see a hand coming out. It's literally holding Serge up. Just this phantom hand like that.
He was fuck-eyed that night, wasn't he? He really was.
He looked like a vampire.
Yeah.
Because did he have a cape on? He might have had a cape on and a big hat.
I don't know. Just for a change.
Yeah.
It's getting more and more outlandish for those boys. But they played well, I thought. Those 2 nighs, I thought they played great.
Brilliant. I didn't go the second night. I was too messed up the second night.
Well, it was nice of you to show up anyway, given that you're on holiday, and I'm sure, it's not the kind of thing that's really on the agenda.
It's good, though. The programme's a bit weird on the telly, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Well, I was just happy to have a hand in that, because I, to be honest with you, had doubts about that whole thing this year. I wasn't sure they were going to pull it off, and then went out and did the weekend, had a great time, and I was like, yeah, I'll have a piece of that.
Right. Anyway, enough of that nonsense.
Yeah, we're talking about Stop the Clocks. You are doing a small and very carefully chosen amount of promo to support the best of. It doesn't seem like that to me. I've got to travel all over the world and not have the pleasures of doing gigs. It's just going and doing the interviews and coming back again, that's kind of the worst part of being on tour. So it's like going on tour without the fun, really. Yeah. Did you give that in? Did you realise that was going to be the case when you decided to do the best of? You saw it coming?
Yeah. Well, the whole thing about it anyway was either the whole reason it's come about is because we finished our contract with Sony and we weren't going to re-sign, or we're not going to re-sign to them, and we got wind that they were going to do it, and we kind of left with a dilemma. It's kind of not get involved and kind of take a step back and let them pick the tracks
with disastrous results.
Yeah, or kind of go in with both feet and just like give it the best shot. I guess because it's only ever going to happen once. So we decided.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing I think that any of us saw happening in the future.
Well, I never thought it would happen until the band had run its course. But as it looks like that course is going to be very fucking long.
Extended,
but I guess I'm a fan of best ofs because it's how I got into the Beatles and the Velvet Underground and stuff like that. So I guess it's for future generations. It's cool. It's cool for maybe kids in maybe 10 years' time who were saying, "What's that band everyone was yakking?"
You have to, man. You're 6 albums in. You can't. If you waited till you had 12, 13 albums down the line and it had run its natural course, what's it going to be, like a 6-album best of? It's going to be an anthology, isn't it? It's not a best of.
No, I was doing some interview the other day from some German guy, and he was saying, "So you releasing the album is it for financial reasons?"
Oh yeah, I need the money.
And I'm like, well, surely the time to have done that would have been at the end of BA Now, right? I can't see there's going to be a casual Oasis fan kind of flicking through the old section going, "Oh yeah, that lot, yeah, I remember that. Wonder what? Yeah, they had that. I'll buy that."
Yeah.
You've either got those, you either know those records and you've got them, or you're not a fan and you loathe Oasis. So I can't. I don't know what exactly it's going to mean in the general.
And furthermore, I just bought your German media outlet, and you're fired for asking such a stupid question. It's it can't have been easy, man. Because I'm looking at the 18 tracks in front of you right here. There are some omissions. We'll get to that in a minute. But you did make a big deal out of also saying, because you could have done it yourselves, and you could have taken it out of the control of the record label, but not made a big deal about that. But you really wanted everyone to know that this was something the band as a whole, as a democracy, had sat down and done together.
Well, not so much, right? Not so much as a democracy, because Gem and Andy weren't in the band for huge chunks of the songs that have made up the record. And when it came to picking the tracks, Liam, as I recall, was walking around. I got put. It was in Argentina on the tour. Got asked to do the track listing. Liam walked past me in the corridor with a turban on his head, with two pints of vodka and cranberry juice going to the pool to leather the journalist from Q who'd misquoted him in a previous interview.
I've still got that article in my bathroom, mate. I read it about 3 days ago.
Yeah. So I was like, any idea the chat listing? No? Songbird? Yeah, fine. You know, put Songbird on.
Yeah. Yeah, right. As long as I get my points, I'm all right.
Yeah, that's him. He's Songbird on it. Yeah, I'll see you in the bar.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a democratic choice.
That didn't backfire though. At one point when you saw the definitive list and everyone weighed in and went, "Oh, hang on a minute, I shouldn't have been drunk that day." I'm not sure I agree with that.
No, I think that there's probably 6 songs that should have been on, which are, do you know what I mean? Fucking in the Bushes.
Cast No Shadow.
Cast No Shadow, 7 then.
Talk Tonight.
Talk Tonight's on there. There's like Listen Up, Edge Shrinker, Fade Away, that kind of thing. But
where's Talk Tonight?
Talk Tonight is. So you've got the wrong track listing there.
Oh, good start. Yeah. Well done. Gonzo, on fire. We're on fire. We're killing it. What is that? Is that some random?
That's the whatever's not on it. Boy with the Blues is not on it. Stop the Clocks is not on it.
I was going to say this.
Hindu Times is not on it.
I don't want to look at it anymore.
No, man. No wonder this whole franchise is going to the fucking dogs.
Exactly. Well done. Well done. Excellent. Because I was looking at it and I tell you, I was about starting to fire some rockets, man. I was going to go, what the fuck is that doing on there?
Yeah, no, whatever.
Good. All right. Well, there goes that part of the interview. How hard was it to put together, though, actually, in terms of the track listing, the running order? You know what I mean? From beginning to end.
It's always going to start with Rock and Roll Start, and it's always going to end with Don't Look Back in Anger.
No, it starts with Some Might Say here. And
you've got the wrong. That's completely wrong, lad. You've got the wrong running order and everything. So it starts with Rock and Roll Start and ends with Don't Look Back in Anger. It's just a case of filling the gaps. But I put it together like a set list. Would be like, right, what if I wanted to go and see my favourite band and I wanted them to play my favourite songs, how would it all run?
Can I guess what goes second then? My favourite set list out of what would go, so it starts with Rock and Roll Start, then it goes Supersonic.
Some might say it goes.
It's a 1-2 punch.
Supersonic kicks in side 2, I think.
Does it?
Yeah.
Killer track.
Yeah. Well, it's still one of my favourite ever Oasis
Fucking hell,
songs.
man, that song stands up. I tell you, that was the first thing I ever heard you guys do, because I was living in New Zealand at the time, and we had, British rock and roll hadn't really, it just started to permeate down under at that point, because we were in a whole grunge thing. And I remember the first time I saw that video and heard that song, it was bleak. The video wasn't fancy at all. Raining, puddles, the whole works. Liam giving it some up at the camera. But just when that beat kicks in and then the guitar starts, and I just remember thinking, man, I haven't heard anything like this for a long time.
Yeah, but it's just, the thing I like about that song is it's just slow enough.
Yeah.
Because if you do it too fast, it would be nonsense, but it's just slow enough.
It's about 95 beats per minute, I think, around there.
I'm not sure what it is on the BPMs, but it's just sleazy and it's a rough mix of a demo. Do you know what I mean? We never really recorded that for the album.
Yeah.
But all that definitely maybe era songs. They all stand up because they were recorded. We were all in our 20s then. Do you know what I mean? Or Liam was probably about 19, do you know what I mean? So and all the sentiments of those songs still hold true today, so it'll never date that album.
A certain amount of the naivety as well, as you point out, being young and kind of getting the excitement of going in the studio and having those songs and not worrying about overproducing it, not worrying about record sales, all that kind of stuff. It can only happen once in your life, can't it, really, as a band?
Yeah. Because the second time around when we were doing Morning Glory, although the approach was even more haphazard, it took less time, but we knew what our audience was then, if you like. Whereas before we recorded that album, we hadn't done that many gigs. Do you know what I mean? So we didn't know who these songs were for. I mean, I'd written them a few years beforehand, but when we came to do Morning Glory, we knew who the kids were. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
it was the fastest. I mean, definitely, maybe it was the fastest selling debut album of all time at the time. Mantle that was subsequently broken by Hearsay and then subsequently reclaimed by the great Arctic Monkeys. Thank God. Yeah. Did you even see this coming at in any stretch of the imagination when the record came out in the first week? Had anyone even said to you, even say 3 days beforehand, look, we might something big's happening here?
I didn't. Not in terms of record sales, and not in terms of. I knew that we were going to be at some point the biggest band in the world, but I didn't.
Is that blind faith, or is that something to build on facts as well?
No, I don't know. I just because I know enough about music and I buy enough contemporary music to know